Hello everybody, welcome back once again. This is going to be the final video for this Phoenix Sunset piece. So this is where we left off last time. As a reminder, this is where we're going, and we've just got one last thing to do, which is to add the Phoenix in here and put him on top of the phone lines. So I'm gonna, hold on. Sorry, adjust my lighting. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it, straight into it. Should be, we'll see how long this video takes. I don't know how this is gonna go because I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So let's figure it out together. Okay, so looking at this, where we're at now, I'm trying to get something to point with. So the Phoenix is going to go right about here, right about there. And the fun part is that since we've already done everything else, and this is the last thing that we're going on, there's not a ton of room for error. So because of that, we need to make sure that we have a plan. So I think, okay, let's take a look. Speaking of plans, this was the initial plan. So let's go back and go from here. So I want this to be sort of a silhouette, like in the way these are, where it's mostly dark, but then you can see the color kind of around the edges and behind it. And that's where, the Phoenix makes it really easy because they've got, they are made of fire. So the black part here is the body, the colored parts here are the fire that's coming off of it. And we're gonna do the same thing as everything else, layers from the back. So we're gonna start with this lightest part back here, the yellow, layer on top of that some red and some orange. And we get to get a little wild with this because fire is a little wild, it doesn't have to be precise. And then we're gonna go in with a very small brush to paint in the body of the Phoenix, and we'll be precise at that point. So the hard part about this is making sure that whatever colors we start with are saturated enough that this doesn't show through, the background doesn't show through them. So I guess it's okay if it shows through a little bit, because if you think about fire, you can sort of see through fire, at least around the edges. So as an experiment, let's see what the yellow looks like on here. I'm trying to judge. Remember we talked about the rule of thirds in a previous video? This Phoenix is sitting on one of the thirds. So again here, separate it into three, separate it into three. The Phoenix sits at an intersection of two of those lines opposite this palm tree here. So if I'm looking at separating this into three, we want this line coming down, separating this into three, this line coming across. So it's gonna be about right here. And so I'm just gonna put a little dab of yellow there. And if you look, you can barely see where I put it. I put it right here. It's not saturated, it's showing through. So to counteract that, we're gonna go in with white. We're gonna put white down as the very first layer, the base, and then build the yellow on top of that, and then the red and the black on top of that. So I'm going to sort of outline the general body and wing shape of this Phoenix. We're gonna keep that as the body. There's the body. The head, let's see. There's no straight lines in nature. So the head is kind of flip up like that. And then and the neck, I suppose. And then that's the head. Can you see what I'm doing? Up here. Follow along with me up here. We won't see its feet. And then the wings are going to come out like that. Do I know what bird's wings look like? No, I don't. Well, that's all right. It doesn't have to be, like we've been doing in all of this, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then so the feathers are gonna come out like that. And then the tail is going to come down like that. So there's a general outline of what it's gonna be. Now the fun part is just having fun. So take that white. You can mix it with some yellow if you want to. I think I'm gonna do that. I'll zoom back out. Would it be easier? I guess since we're kind of really going into detail, it'd be easier to just zoom in and then you can just listen to me talking to you. Okay, I'm going to try to frame this properly. Please bear with me as I do that. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, split the difference. There we go. Okay, so we'll bring you in a little closer. I think that's better. I think that's a good see. Okay, so I'm mixing white with a little bit of yellow. And the white is going to lay down almost like we're putting canvas on top of paint. Okay, and these can be just like really fat strokes. We just want the general sense, the general shape of like wings and such. And if there's some random stuff coming off to the side, that's fine. That's just the extra little fiery bits. Same thing down here. The general shape of tail feathers with a little extra fun on the side. Not quite a huge fan of how that bottom shape is, but it does not really matter. At this point, we've laid it there, and there it shall be. Okay. So, and I'm gonna go a little extra out around the head here too, and the neck, because we wanna make sure that it's big enough, wide enough that we'll be able to see the, when we go over it with the red and the black, that there's enough space for all of that to show. Okay, cool. So, if I'm being honest, that turned out better than I thought it was going to. All right, so that's the outline. Now we're going to come with some detail, not detail, but we're gonna go with the red on top of that. So I'm going to take I'm gonna take a smaller brush, maybe, if I have one. I do. Okay, so I'm gonna take a smaller, there we go, smaller brush to do this, and I'm gonna mix my messy paint palette. That's all right, that's fun. I'm gonna take some red and some yellow and mix those together and get hopefully sort of an orange. And if it's not fully mixed together, that's fine. I don't think mine is. Okay, so when I put down this layer of paint, I want to stay within the bounds of the yellow for the most part. You can go outside, but the idea is that the closer we get to the body of the phoenix, the hotter the fire is. So it'll turn, is it the opposite? I know hottest is blue. Does it go blue, yellow, red? Or blue, red, yellow? Well, it doesn't matter. This is a fantasy. This is not real life. So I'm just going to try and keep the red, orange here within the bounds of this yellow base that we put down. And we can have a few sparks coming out, but for the most part, you want it inside. So I'm just having fun with it, not really worrying about exactly where it's going or exactly how saturated it is, because again, this is supposed to be a little more free form. And I think I am worried a little bit about how saturated it is, because it does not look quite like I was hoping it was going to. But that's okay. Right after this, we will then go in with a darker red and sort of get more saturation there at that point. So just keep going, trust the process. Man. Okay, here's something, I don't know what to do about this. It's like, because the paint is wet, when you're painting over it, the paint is moving around, and it, to the point where then it becomes kind of translucent, and you can see like the darkness of the clouds beneath it. So that's bothering me a little bit, but not too much. I did just now take some actual red, not the orangey red, not the orange, but straight red. And I'm putting that on to now darken it out even more. And really now kind of start defining these colors and such, and these lines, and where the wings are, where the fire is. Just, this gives it dimension. This gives it more dimension. So again, I'm using kind of like short, quick strokes, trying to push the part of the brush that I'm pushing against the canvas is just this very end here. Like middle to the end, to get hopefully short, kind of fiery strokes. And I want these to look more like feathers, I think, at this point. Okay, you know how I was just worried about the paint rubbing off in the middle here? Well, at the end of all of this, that's going to be filled in with black. So we don't actually have to worry about it, because I'm gonna wait. Ugh, I don't like that. That's fine. I'm gonna wait until it dries to put that black layer down so we don't miss out on any of that. Wow, okay. This is going faster than I thought it was going to. What does that look like on camera? That looks pretty fiery. That looks pretty fiery. Fill in a little bit here. That you could tell that's a bird, right? Does that look like a phoenix? Yeah. Okay. So before we put the black on, I'm actually gonna go back in with the yellow, the like whitish, yellowish color, and kind of fill in, put in some outlines where we've kind of gone over with the red. So like here, where you can barely see some of the yellow, I'm gonna put yellow here, and even if some of it gets in with the red, that's fine too. Or overlaps. You can overlap some of the red and some of the orange at this point, because it's, you know, not going to be, fire is not perfectly aligned in its layers. It is wild and crazy, so we must too be wild and crazy. All right, so put in some like random little strokes to show where the fire is flying off of this thing. And okay, great. I am liking that. This paint is still pretty wet, so what we're gonna do is, on my end, I'm gonna wait and chill maybe about 10-15 minutes, wait for the paint to fully dry, and then go back over it with the black. And on your end, you can pause the video and do the same thing. So I will see you very soon. All right, hello everyone. I'm back. We are back. This paint is dry, so we're gonna go in with the very last couple of layers. So I'm thinking that we're just gonna go in with the black. I was gonna say maybe a dark, like almost blackish red, kind of like we did for the palm trees down here, but no, I do not have the patience. So what we're gonna do now is take black, and I am gonna put some red in there, just a little bit, just to give it a reddish black look, just to give it a little bit of color. And even if you can't, like with your eye, see that there's a difference, putting the red in is going to warm up the shade of black. So I know that kind of doesn't make sense, but it's all good. And it's actually now, it is looking more of like a red, like a dark, not red, but like a dark reddish purple. So a little more black. And yeah, it gives the black itself some dimension and some warmth. So I'm taking a teeny tiny brush. Yeah, I just use it to mix, but hold on. Let's see if it'll focus on it. Yep, there we go. Teeny tiny brush. And so now we want to be a little more precise with this. Not too bad, it doesn't have to be crazy. But this should be now basically a solid outline. Solid outline of black staying within the bounds of all of the other color that we've already put down. So let's go for it. Let's just have some trust in ourselves that we can do this. And even if we screw up, make a mistake, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Okay? Okay, let's go. All right, you guys. Well, I am happy with that. I hope you all are happy with that as well. Let's readjust. Is it a little high? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna have to figure this out. figure out a better way to do all of these adjustments and everything. Okay. So we have one more thing to do. One more thing, and that is, wait, hold on. Wait a second. Okay. I forgot that it does that. That is the phone lines. So these are definitely, this is the part that I've been the least looking forward to out of this whole entire painting, because with these phone lines, the very last thing, we got one chance. One chance, baby, to make a straight, not straight, but a curved black line. So I'm gonna take the same brush that I've been using, this little tiny one, and I'm gonna start from the Phoenix, from where he would be sitting, and like even just now, I'm just gonna kind of, okay, I've got like a really faint line there. So that's gonna be the first one. I wanna make sure that the paint is really thin on my brush. So I don't want like a thick glob at the end. You want it to be just kind of coating the entire thing. So I'm gonna turn the painting sideways, because it's easier to paint vertically like this, up and down, than to try and go side to side. So I just made some very faint marks, and I'm just gonna kind of follow those and hope that everything goes well. Okay, we got one. You can't see that close, but we've got one line here, and we're gonna extend it and then give it kind of like an upwards curve, a gentle upwards curve going up the rest, okay? Yeah, we're almost done with this piece, you guys. This is really, really exciting. I'm gonna start at the top. I'm gonna go in one swoop, just one. Oh my God. Okay, that's okay. And then go up, okay. So they're connecting there, okay. Freaking out. Okay, like I was saying, we're almost done with this piece. Did you guys enjoy a long series like this? I hope so, because I really did. Did you guys learn something? I think that is the most important part of this, is that hopefully you learned something either about painting, or you learned something about me, or you learned something about yourself. If you guys have any topics, because I want to keep doing this. Oh, the line is getting thick. I'm sorry. I need to concentrate. Give me a second. It's okay. It doesn't look like I wanted it to. It doesn't have quite a gentle curve. It's it gets a little bumpy in the middle. It's not bad. It could be better. You know what would be good for these? I've seen, they're almost like nail brushes, but they're just really long and they bend and they're really thin, and I don't have one of those. So that's all right. Man, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna persevere and get at least one more foam line in. I'm just gonna go freehand. Yeah. They're gonna be messy now, and that's okay. I want to be done. I will say I want to be done with this piece. So There's a messy foam line. You guys, it's not good. And it looks like it's going in front of the Phoenix. I should have... You know what? Mistakes. It's a mistake. It happened. I truly cannot go back now. So we're just gonna go with it and do one more very thin, messy phone line, and then we're gonna call it a day. Because it's truly about practice and progress and not perfection. Practice and progress and not perfection. So here we are. Here I am, the living embodiment of that. If anyone wants to buy me really thin brushes for making straight lines, that would be amazing. Alright, you guys, like I was saying, let me know in the comments if you have any topics you want to talk about while we do these paintings. I would love to hear some suggestions and chat with you guys about things that you guys want to chat about. Okay, I cannot abide the paint going over the Phoenix like that. I can't. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try taking I emptied the paintbrush of paint. I'm just taking water, and I'm gonna try and just put a little bit of water over it, and then just use my finger to try and lift it from the canvas. It's not working. Well, that is, again, the beauty of paint is you can just paint over something. So, there we go. I'm going in with yellow now, painting over, and then I'm going in with that red and that orange, painting over, and then I'm gonna, All right, and again, I'm gonna call that good enough. Okay, everybody, this is it. We are done. We are finished. Here, I'll hold it up a little bit better so you can see. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today to finish up this painting and put the little Phoenix on there. We will be back next week with a brand new painting. I don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna find out. Please, before you go, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps me out. I am Ray, of course, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.